Alright, so as you can see, I've been welding up the adapter for Tori's car. That's what we're going to be doing today, is making the piping for this. Something different I'm going to do to this as compared to other times I've made these adapters is we're using a thicker walled material. We're using all stainless steel, which we typically do anyway. But I am going to make more than one pass on this weld. Usually I do a weld on the outside and a weld on the inside. In this case, I'm going to do 3 passes, because this is going to be seeing a lot more heat for a lot longer periods of time than what I usually do. So this is going to guarantee that there's not going to be any cracking. So I've already laid down the main bead or the root all the way around. So now I'm going to go ahead and do another pass towards the outside edge, and then I go back around and do a pass towards the inside edge. And then I flip it over and do the same thing on the T25 flange size. But before I do that, we're going to go ahead and test fit the flange on here, because I do need to do 1 bead pass on this side as well. So here we have the turbo. Obviously this is not going to be clocked this way. So I have clearance for my jig, which this is where the head kind of stops. So now I'm going to take this off the jig, unbolt this, and then put it in the actual car so we can see where everything sits. It'll also tell me if I need to move the wastegate actuator or modify that in any way, shape, or form. Alright, so we have the turbo in here. It fits, but just barely, which is a problem, because, you know, the engine is going to want to twist back and forth, no matter how solid the motor mounts you put in it. I had to bend this back a little bit just to get the turbo in. Typically what I would do in this situation is angle the turbo forward or rotate it, but I don't want to really do that. I want it to be somewhat straight. I like that position. I can use basically an OEM intake with just an adapter, the wastegate actuator. I can actually put it a little lower, or if I want, I can swivel this under and put this a little higher. So I have options. I really like where the downpipe is facing. If I start moving that around, then we start having downpipe fitment problems. So what we're going to do is back here, behind the turbo, right here, we're just going to massage this back and down. Now there is a wire harness that runs along over here. It comes out right there. So we're going to push that down. I'm going to pull that wiring harness down and actually put some heat shrink material around, not heat shrink, heat shielding material around it. And that will give us better protection for that wiring harness so that I don't have to relocate a wiring harness, but we can still fit this turbo in just the way it is because I do like how it's fitting. Alright, so the downpipe has been tacked up. I've done all the welding on the adapter flanges itself. I got to plane them a little bit. They're just a little tiny warpage to them. Not a big deal. But the downpipe is mocked up. I used a bunch of pie cuts up here so that we can make this bend nice and tight. I have a bunch of these 90-degree pieces, but it brings it too far out here and I don't like the way it fits. So this makes it a nice tight bend. Typically I would do a 45 right here to come down here, but I like the idea of having this flow right here, as there's going to be a lot of exhaust coming out of here, so I can get a little more velocity out of it this way. Typically on a factory turbo or like a Subaru sized turbo, it's not that big a deal, but because this is so small and so much exhaust gas is going to come out so fast, I think that's the best way to do it. We are using V-band down here, so this is sagging a little bit just because of the flex pipe, but this sits up here, matched up with where the front wheel drive downpipe goes. Kind of have to eyeball that, but it's not really that big a deal because it's getting a custom catback exhaust, where the second cat pipe is also going to be custom as well. So, you know, I can work around that a little bit. So next up is just finish welding all of this, which is probably like 4 hours of welding. Once that's all done, we do another test fit in the car. I should say, before we do that, we do another test fit in the car, make sure everything fits the way it sits right here, make sure it's at least close to where the OEM second cat pipe is, and that will tell me if my reference point here is right. And then after we have that confirmed fitment, we just do the finish welding, and then move on to the rest of this, which is a lot. But keep an eye out for updates on this. Also, if you are not aware, to celebrate the Race Juke, hashtag Race Juke, you can go on our website and all of our merch, everything. You get 10% off if you use Race Juke as a coupon code. as to celebrate our sponsorship with Tori and the Time Attack Juke. So make sure you do that. Also, go check out Tori's Instagram page. It's at Tori Skursky. I'll put that down below so you can go check him out. You can see some footage of the car racing past what we've uploaded in the past. I've also got a special little ice video that I'm going to be uploading soon of the Juke racing around on the ice. It's actually really cool. But yeah, this is coming along really nicely, very quickly. I'm hoping to have this welded up and put in the car, ready to go in the next couple of days. So it'll be a couple of weeks probably worth of YouTube videos. The next hard part that we got to figure out is intercooler piping and intake. I don't have to worry about a diverter valve or anything like that. So we are going to have to make custom upper intercooler pipe. And then there's also the custom intercooler setup we're going to be doing for this car too. So keep an eye out for all of that. I'm done talking. I'm done for the day. You guys have a good day, night, whatever it is when you're watching this. And make sure you hit that subscribe button.